So today, we're jumping into what might just be the single most important competition of our time, the race for dominance in artificial intelligence between the United States and China. And really, it's a contest that's rewriting the rules of global power. Yeah, you can just forget all the traditional ways we measure power for a second. This quote right here frames the stakes perfectly. We're talking about an era where the nation that masters AI could very well master the future. And this isn't some far-off sci-fi scenario, it is happening right now. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the superpower race as we usually hear about it. Then we're going to ask a really important question. Are they even running towards the same finish line? We'll break down America's big bet on massive AI models and contrast that with China's plan for industrial AI. And we'll wrap it all up with a new economic warfare that's breaking out over the resources that fuel this whole thing. Okay, so the conventional story, the one you hear all the time, is that this is just a flat-out sprint, right? A race to build the one single most powerful AI on the planet. And whoever gets there first, well, they win everything. And if you ask most people, they'll tell you the United States is in the lead. But look at that number, a 3 to 6 month lead. That's not a lot of breathing room, is it? It means one breakthrough, one wrong move could flip the whole thing on its head. The pressure is just unbelievable. But this is where it gets really interesting. We all assume it's this neck and neck sprint, but what if they're not even on the same track? What if the US and China have completely different ideas about what winning in AI actually looks like? I mean, really think about that. If one country is training for a marathon and the other is training for a series of high-speed sprints, it doesn't really make sense to judge them by the same finish line, does it? And that's the core idea we're going to unpack today. And this slide, it just lays it all out perfectly. You've got the US on one side basically chasing the ultimate prize, artificial general intelligence, or AGI. Think bigger, better versions of ChatGPT. Then you have China on the other, with a state-driven plan to just wire practical AI into every single part of its physical economy. Two very, very different endgames. So let's unpack that a little, starting with the American strategy. The US is betting billions that if they can just create the most powerful, most creative AI model, it will unlock a whole new era of growth and discovery. It's a huge bet on raw intellectual power. So what exactly is this AGI that they're all chasing? Well, you can think of it as the holy grail of AI. It's not an AI that's just good at one thing, like playing chess or writing an email. It's a system that can actually improve itself, one that is smarter than humans across the board, the kind of thing that could, in theory, solve some of our biggest problems. And if you look at the scoreboard for this race, the US is winning. The data from NIST here is really telling. The top US model is beating China's best across these key areas. It's way more efficient, it's better at coding, and in cybersecurity, it's not even close. So by this one metric, yeah, the US strategy is paying off. But now, let's flip over to China's approach, which honestly feels like it's from a whole different playbook. They're way less concerned with building some all-knowing AI oracle and much, much more focused on real-world physical scale. Yeah, this quote, it's blunt, but it really gets to the heart of the Chinese mindset. From their point of view, these amazing large language models we're all obsessed with might be neat, but they don't build bridges, they don't run factories, they don't strengthen the industrial backbone of a country. And this is where you start to see what that mindset looks like in the real world. 2 million. 2 million industrial robots. This isn't some theory about the future. This is intelligence in physical form, embodied AI, already transforming China's factory floors on a scale that's hard to even comprehend. Okay, this chart is just wow. It's staggering, really. In 2024 alone, China put nearly 300,000 new industrial robots to work. The US, 34,000. The pace at which they are integrating AI into the physical world is just on another planet. And make no mistake, this isn't just happening on its own. It is a core part of China's national strategy. You're looking at their official, state-mandated timeline to completely transform their entire industrial base with AI in about a decade. They have a plan, and they are hitting their marks. So you have these two totally different strategies. And now they're starting to clash on a new battlefield, a global economic war over what you could call technological choke points. Each side is now actively trying to cripple the other's strategy by controlling access to essential resources. And what's so critical to understand is how different their tactics are. The US is going with what they call a small yard, high fence policy. They're trying to block China's access to the absolute most advanced computer chips, the ones you need to build those giant AGI models. China's response? A big square, Great Wall. They're moving to control the fundamental raw materials you need to build any advanced tech at all. Just take a look at this. We're talking about the absolute fundamentals. Graphite for batteries, gallium and germanium for advanced chips, rare earth metals for high-performance magnets. China has methodically secured a dominant position, not just in digging this stuff out of the ground, but in the crucial refining and processing steps. They control the very building blocks of our digital world. And that brings us to a pretty uncomfortable reality. The US has the power to cut China off from the most advanced tech that exists right now. But China has the power to make it incredibly difficult and way more expensive for anyone, including the US, to build the next generation of everything, from chips to batteries to sensors. So it all comes back to this one huge question. What's the real measure of power in the AI age? Is it the godlike knowledge of a single massive AI model, or is it the practical, collective intelligence spread across millions of machines and factories, totally transforming the physical world we all live in? The answer to that is probably going to define who leads the world in the next century. Thank you all so much for your time and for joining this explainer. It's a really complex topic, but the implications are just massive. If you found this breakdown valuable, we'd be so grateful if you'd like, share, and subscribe to the Global War Watch Network. It really helps us continue to make this content for you. And we'd love to hear what you think. Which strategy do you believe is going to win out in the long run? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And please join our community on social media. All the links for that are right there in the description. Thanks again for watching.